Minecraft can be hard sometimes, especially if, like me, you have skill issues. There we go. Well, even with my skill issues, going to the nether shouldn't be a problem, right? Got my iron sword, my iron armor. What about this one? Yep. Oh, is that a ghast? I'm on fire, I can't see where I'm going. Help! Help! Oh no. Okay, back in Defender Village. It's a raid on, but there's only one guy left, so it should be fine. I can get him. And there we... Oh dear.
Okay, so let's dive straight in.
Hi there, I'm Egbert, and welcome to the channel. Nice to have you here. We're going to be talking about something a little bit different. It's brand new. I don't think anyone's done it before. But before we do that, let's go and have a look at some more footage. So if you're like me and you find some elements of Minecraft a little bit difficult, it'd be really nice to have a couple of big dudes who could help you out. Maybe they'd defend your village. Maybe you could get them to be stationed by your nether spawn and keep that clear for you. Although they do seem to have some pathfinding issues when they're attached to a fence. And wouldn't it be even better if they were completely immortal? And this here is an Immortal Iron Golem. And in fact, he doesn't take any damage when you hit him, and that means he doesn't get angry with you, even in survival. So that's a good thing if you're trying to go into battle with him. And I'm kind of lying to you a little bit. He isn't completely immortal. These golems are susceptible to potion effects, and that means that witches can kill them, and dragon breath is also pretty dangerous. It's worth noting there's nothing in a trial chamber that can actually kill the Immortal Golem. Immortal Iron Golems themselves have been known about for quite a while in Minecraft.
What the hell? What the... He's immortal!
And it keeps getting discovered and rediscovered. Even my son actually found it and came and told me about it. And it's mostly done by people who are fighting Iron Golems against Wardens and heal them at just the right time. It used to be possible to do with Dispensers. That has been patched. This whole thing is obviously not an intended feature. It's got a bug report for it. But the way we're going to do it is by healing the Iron Golem with an iron ingot. At just the moment it dies. And you can, of course, do that without any redstone. But it takes really, really careful timing. You're probably going to waste a lot of iron doing it. It's not very repeatable. We're going to make it efficient, repeatable, and easy. These Immortal Iron Golems are mostly just a bit of fun, but there are some cases in technical Minecraft, if you're building a farm, where these could be useful as well. So here's an example of where you might want to use an Iron Golem in a farm. It's a disc farm by Adverse Lemon 2 on YouTube. I'll link it below. And it uses an Iron Golem, this guy here. And the way it works is that we have a skeleton, this one, who will shoot an arrow, which sets on fire, and trying to hit this golem. But instead, it hits a TNT, which is placed in front of the skeleton here. And that then registers as a skeleton kill when the TNT explodes and blows up the creepers. And that's why you get discs. So what Adverse Lemon said was that sometimes the golem could get hit and take some damage. If you had an Immortal Golem, that wouldn't be an issue. He has made a better version since then, by the way. And I will link his channel, as I said, in the description. This is what we're going to build. And I'm going to show you how to use it first. So we're going to climb up this ladder. And I am in survival mode. We use this template here to place our blocks to make an Iron Golem. We've got some pumpkins, carved pumpkins in here. Come back down the bottom. And we stand in front of this door. And we select our iron ingot. Now, it's probably easiest to use an auto clicker. I use OP Auto Clicker 4.0. But you can do it just as well. Just by mashing the button on your controller, your mobile buttons, or indeed on a PC. So let's use an auto clicker. I'm going to press F6 to start mine. And you can see that I'm clicking away. I can click the button. I point back at this door here with the Iron Golem behind it, and I just wait. And eventually the door will open at just the right time, turn off my auto clicker, and you can see that here we have an Immortal Iron Golem. Now, if you move away from the area, So let me go into creative. If I move away from the area and then come back, so out of sim distance, and then come back, or you could do this by relogging. This iron golem will come back looking more normal, and you can even cure them if you want to get them up to where they need to be. Once I've made sure that this is indeed an Immortal Iron Golem and I haven't missed somehow, I can do that by hitting him, make sure he doesn't get angry with me. Then I can send him on his way. And if he does get angry with you, obviously he's in a minecart, so there's not a lot he can do to hurt you. And that's it. So like I said, you can do it just by mashing your button. You want to point to this pixel here underneath the window, above the door handle. That's what I found works best. And if you just mash your button as fast as you can, then this will work without the auto clicker. So you just press this, come back and mash away. Firstly, I'm a big fan of automation, and with the build that we just looked at, you do have to build your iron golems manually. But with this, which is an iron farm, you no longer have to do that. The golems will spawn automatically for you. Essentially exactly the same circuit. So what will happen is the iron golems will fall through this hole in the middle. They'll activate this tripwire, which kicks off our pulse extender. And we have exactly the same stuff going around. This will operate as a normal iron farm. It's got to be a 10 villager iron farm. And it's going to be 10 villagers because we only want one golem at a time. Otherwise, the tripwire can get triggered at the wrong point. And for the same reason, we have to have our cats separated out because we don't want cats falling down here and triggering our tripwire either. So this will work as a normal iron farm. But if you stand in the AFK spot, which is just here, and let me throw a pumpkin onto the trapdoor, then you'll see that a piston extends here, and that will hold the iron golem in place, and it allow me to AFK down here with my iron ingot, and I can transform that iron golem to an immortal one. The piston will then retract, and the iron golem will fall down here into a new village. And this new village, we know it's a village, it's got a villager and a bed. The iron golem will fall down here, and if you've actually made it an immortal iron golem, then it'll survive in here. I put magma blocks to kill the ones which we haven't done, and that means they'll release their iron. The immortal ones actually also release iron, so that'll fall down into this pool. That's why it's quite a big pool, because it gets spread out a little bit. But when we immortalize an iron golem, it drops iron at the point it doesn't die, and that falls into this pool, and we collect it all down here. So that's how you can make it fully automatic. And if you want, say, 10 iron golems, immortal iron golems, then you can just stand on the AFK spot and hold 10 iron ingots, turn on your auto clicker, and you'll get 10 immortal iron golems, and all the rest will just act as normal iron farm iron golems and give you iron. I won't be doing a tutorial for this. It's a bit of a pain doing a tutorial for an iron farm anyway, and I don't want to make the video too long. Right, so I'm going to show you how to build it, and there's a couple of things we need to do before we start. The first thing is, remember to use a non-flammable block in your build. There's lava, there's fire around, and only a complete fool would ever try to build this using wood blocks, for example. Yeah, okay. The other thing is that the build is directional, and I'm going to use a carved pumpkin to decide what direction I'm going to build it in. And we want to build it, the carved pumpkin, the stem of that always points to the northwest. So that's north, that's west. And we always want to build it starting from the east side. So the pumpkin stem will be pointing to the top right. And we're going to build it starting here. So first we're going to do is we're going to build a little hole, a 2x2. And we're going to fill that in with blocks. We're going to put a powered rail here, normal rail, and a couple of buttons on these two blocks. Come around this side, put a dispenser down, and next to that dispenser, pointing in the same direction, we want a repeater on 4 ticks, like so. Okay, now we can build around here, and we're going to come across up to that rail, skip over the rail, come down in front, and do the same down this side. So we get this shape here. Pop a couple of blocks there as well. And here we want to put a target block. So I grab a target block, put it on top there. And we can fill all this in above here, including above the repeater, above the rail, down to the front like that. Take your buttons and put a button on the back wall there, and on this block and this block. So that's going to hold up the lava that we are going to have coming out of this dispenser. Okay, so we can now fill in above here, like so, all the way across. And we're going to bring out this platform by another couple of blocks like that, and like that. Take a iron door, place it here, place 2 more solid blocks here and here, and we're going to then come up the top, place a target block here, put normal blocks there, and all the way around on top, like so. A glass block above the door, glass block here, and a glass block just there as well. And in front of the door, I'm going to place a glass pane. So I was actually going to mention, the reason why we put these buttons on the floor is that when you've got a button on top of a block, you can't set it on fire. If I had a block like this, it would set on fire. But with the button, it won't, and that's going to help us to make sure that we don't get fire in this pit down here. The next thing you want to do is come around the side and take 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks. So going from underneath that target block 4 along, and under here 1, 2, 3 blocks, like so. Come round next to this target, and we're going to place a trapdoor, an iron trapdoor like this, and the hinge has to be on the back wall, just there. Put 2 temporary blocks above that, another dispenser here, break those. A block behind dispenser, come diagonally down 1, diagonally down once more, like this, and then diagonally down to here. Take your redstone dust, and we're going to put redstone dust coming all the way down these steps, next to the target block, along here, up the wall, and across 1 like that. Put a solid block here, round. You want a comparator pointing into that. I'm going to grab a torch whilst I'm here. So just here, we're going to place a comparator in subtract mode. I want a torch here, a solid block with redstone dust on it. So this will turn off that comparator when this torch is lit. Come down here and place a solid block behind the dispenser there with a repeater on 3 ticks. So it should look like this. Place a solid block behind that. Come up by 2, break the middle one. And we're going to put an observer facing up. So it's got its face up here. Put a comparator on top of that. And now we need hoppers. So I'm going to put a hopper, well, actually, I'm going to put a temporary block here. Put a hopper pointing into that. Break this. Hopper pointing back this way. So you see they're facing into each other. Target block just there with a torch here. And this is going to be essentially a pulse extender. So we can already put some blocks into here, and it can be anything you want, but I'm going to use, I don't know, my ladders. So you want exactly 16 stackable items in this first hopper. I want to extend this rail out a little bit. So we're going to bring it out this way towards the front of our build. Just here, I want a, just here, I want a block. Put your rail on top, and then grab a powered rail and put it down the other side like this. We're going to put a button on that block. There we go. A button just there. So our Immortal Golems will come out of this build onto the powered rail and then wait for us to see what to do next. And we need to put some minecarts into this dispenser down through that little gap. You need to put a lava bucket into this dispenser, and you need to put some carved pumpkins into this one at the top. And then we could just make this look a little bit tidier. So I'm going to do that with some stairs. So we're going to have stairs going like this, like that. Put some solid blocks along here, and we're going to build up our stairs. 1, 2, solid block under there, and same on this side. So we're going to have 1. A solid block here, stairs on top, like this. You could actually, put that solid block just to make it look a little bit more even, and then redstone dust on there, so that'll still connect up with this. Come round back, and where this comparator is, you want to put a solid block in front of the comparator, like so. Sticky piston facing down, an observer looking away from you, so it's going to be powering out of this hole coming this way. Put a solid block here, come down diagonally like so, and then down diagonally like so. And we want to put redstone dust on this block and all the way along here to join up with the target block. And that is your build pretty much done. I would probably recommend putting a solid block here, here, and here, and it just helps control which direction the golem goes. But in theory, because of the direction we built this, the golem, when you build it, should always appear just there. And the final thing I want to do is we're going to build a template for our golem. It's going to look like this. That's where we're going to be building our golem. I want some ladders just up here so I can get up and down easily to build my golem. And I want a button just here. Okay, so I've switched to survival, and the last thing for us to do is just to test it out quickly and make sure it's all working properly. So to do that, I'm going to grab some iron blocks. I'm going to go up my ladder. I place the blocks against the template, come back down here, grab my iron ingots, turn on my auto clicker, although you could do it by hand as well. Press the button, target the golem behind the door, and we just wait a moment, listen to the horrible sounds of golems dying. But he's not dying, he's going to become immortal and live forever. Turn off your auto clicker, and we can see here we have a golem, and once the fire stops burning, you'll see that when I hit him, he takes no damage, he doesn't get angry with me, and we can then take him off wherever we want. Perfect. Now, if you want to get really fancy, there are a couple of things you can still do to make this maybe even better. And the first one of those would be to build here a little indicator light. So put a comparator there with a block just here. And we're going to run redstone dust on top of that block, one above the comparator. And I can put a lamp here. And that lamp will be lit when we have carved pumpkins in here. And you can do the same thing with the mine carts, which are in here. I can break this block, put down a comparator. And in this case, I'm going to have to come out here. We're going to dig a little hole down and put some redstone dust underneath this block, just there. Put a solid block just here, and our lamp goes there. And that will be lit when there are minecarts. So now you can tell if anything has run out. But honestly, I don't think it's really that big of an issue. Let me know if you think some really fun things to do with these Immortal Iron Golems, especially if you find a way to use them in a farm, and put it down in the comments. Also drop me a like if you liked it, and I'll hope to see you next time. Bye bye now.